Welcome back. A Fox News alert here. A stunning new report on the unprecedented Supreme Court leak rocking the nation. Politico obtaining a draft majority opinion suggesting the high court is set to strike down Roe versus Wade. Republicans are accusing a liberal law clerk of leaking the document to intimidate justices in order to change the outcome of the ruling.
Constitutional law expert Jonathan Turley calls the leak a breach of the most fundamental obligations and traditions of the Supreme Court.
Florida Congressman Michael Waltz joins us now. Congressman, good morning to you. How does a draft opinion like this from the Supreme Court get leaked, and what happens to the leaker?
Well, I think that's unclear at this point because it's never happened before, to my knowledge. This is just so outrageous that this draft opinion was leaked. It's clearly an attempt to influence the outcome, but guys, be prepared for the scorched earth tactics of the left on this issue. They truly believe the ends justify the means, no matter what laws or what norms they have to break, and be prepared for a Kavanaugh-like approach to the Supreme Court on this one. And they are going to burn it down, as you're hearing the activists say, in order to try to stop this. And what's such a shame is that many pro-life activists, many people who believe in the sanctity of life, abided by the law for nearly 50 years, even though they believe that child's life was being unjustly taken. But I would not expect that same courtesy from the other side for our nation's system and for its rule of law.
You know, Congressman, Democrats are pushing for a full-blown power grab on this. They're urging Congress to take action without any Republican support. Bernie Sanders is tweeting this: Congress must pass legislation that codifies Roe versus Wade as the law of the land in this country now. And if there aren't 60 votes in the Senate to do it, we must end the filibuster to pass it with 50 votes. You know, you're a Republican in Congress. Do you think this is something that Democrats can do and will try to do?
Oh, I think they'll absolutely try to do it. It's quite ironic, right? If you actually read the draft opinion, it's basically saying this is in the purview of lawmakers. But yet then you're hearing the left saying lawmakers should be the one to take action. I don't see it getting through the Senate at the end of the day. But again, this is going to be burn it down, scorched earth, whoever we have to trash and whatever we have to rip up in terms of this country's traditions and laws, they'll do it because this is ends justify the means.
Congressman, it is primary election day in Ohio. How does this leak impact the midterm elections, and does this give Democrats energy?
I don't see it impacting the primary in Ohio necessarily.
But across
I think
the board going forward, depending on what the Supreme Court says, if they do overturn Roe versus Wade, how would that impact the midterm elections?
Oh, look, I think that's absolutely one of the reasons it was leaked, in order to politically impact the elections. And what the Democrats are hoping is this will re-energize a base that has been so disappointed with the Biden administration. So that was absolutely one of the aims of this leak.
Yeah.
Congressman, let's turn to Ukraine. I know this is a topic that you've been very passionate about. Yesterday I spoke with Brett Velikovich. He's a former special operator and intel guy, and he made this shocking allegation.
I hope when President Biden visits Lockheed Martin very soon, who are the guys that make the Javelin missile, that somebody asks him who exactly within his administration is blocking the release of Javelin training simulators from going into Ukraine. It's making it so they are less effective in the field and in some cases even failing on the front lines when being fired.
There's a lot to kind of read into there, Congressman. I just want to kind of ask you a little bit more point blank. Is he saying that we are purposefully or somehow in the log train sending not our best equipment or faulty equipment? Do you understand what he's saying, and do you agree with him there?
Yeah, so there's multiple components to the Javelin, and I'm hearing from veterans that are on the front lines with Ukrainian special forces as well that sometimes the missile shows up but not the launcher, sometimes the launcher, not the appropriate batteries or systems. And in this case, what he's saying is that the training component isn't showing up. That would make the Ukrainians much more effective. So what you have to understand is when those items go across the border, we are losing all visibility and we're losing chain of custody, and we don't know really where it's going and how effective it is. And on the visit from Biden, we have to look at the irony there. It was the Obama and Biden administration that blocked the Javelin, refused to send the Javelin in 2014 when Russia invaded. It was only President Trump that sent this system in, but now Biden's going to go to a defense contractor and try to take credit. It's the height of irony. And
Congressman, from Ukraine to China, Chinese officials reportedly held a meeting last month, and they're looking at ways to protect their economy in the event that the West sanctions China the way that we have Ukraine, or I'm sorry, rather Russia. Does that mean that they are already preparing for an invasion of Taiwan?
Oh, they're absolutely preparing. They're preparing militarily. They're preparing diplomatically around the world, and they're preparing economically. And one of the ways to do that is to sanction-proof their economy. I don't believe it's imminent in the next year, but I do believe it's imminent in the next 5 years. And we're seeing that from the intelligence. Economically, they have to sanction-proof their economy. That means moving away from the dollar. We're seeing that in terms of how they buy their oil. There are reports that they're looking to buy that in the yuan and their currency. They're moving to a digital currency. But the biggest thing they're doing is creating dependencies on China that the rest of the world can't do without. That's why they produce 90% of rare earth minerals. That's why they produce 90% of computer chips, pharmaceuticals, and we can go down the line. We have to bring our supply chains home. But that's what China's
we're learning that lesson in a big way now, as is Europe. Congressman Michael Waltz, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thanks.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.